Today we're looking at a Lexus. This is an RX350. It's a 2015, so if you're looking for a used vehicle, an SUV in this case, this is probably a good buy right now, even though prices are inflated. And the primary reason why everybody wants a Lexus is reliability. And this does not disappoint. Since we've had it, we've had very little changes to it. Roughly, it's the wear and tear, things like brakes and so forth. But let's take a quick look around just so you know what you'd be getting for your money in a Lexus. So it may be surprising to some of you that this is not a hybrid model. This is a plain ICE, so internal combustion engine, and this is a V6. It has a lot of power, 270 horsepower. It's a real pleasure to drive. It's a lot of fun, and if you're living in northern climates, this is a great SUV to have. It is four-wheel drive, and it's really smooth, great traction, and it's actually much better than the RAV4 Prime in the snow. So let's take a quick look around. I mean, one of the things with Lexus, if we were to open the hood, and in fact we'll do that, is you'll notice that there's not really a whole lot to see. And they have covered a lot of this stuff with plastic. So you've got, if you want to have access to your battery, you've got to pull a piece of plastic out. If you want to have access to, any major components. So really the only thing that they're expecting from you is to put in the windshield washing liquid here and to check your oil. And you've got access, easy access to the battery. So that's about it for the front. As I said, there's been no real change on this car apart from oil changes, brakes, and so forth. So just keep the liquids in and make sure that you as per the recommendation of the manufacturer, go ahead and change things like your transmission fluids and so forth. So as with any used vehicle, one of the problems and challenges you'll have, and everybody has this, is the headlights are fogging up with time. So this is probably due to the UV, coating slowly peeling off and whatnot, or disintegrating. So you can, of course, fix this. We have another video that we've actually done this to an old Honda Civic. What's really nice about the Lexus is at night you've got some LEDs here that are quite unique, so everyone can tell that you've got a Lexus from the front lights. Apart from that, I mean, there are sensors, and you'll notice them here. And basically, that's to assist you if you're going to bump into something, it will warn you. This is the 2015. It's the last year where you've got the smaller grille. If you're going to be getting a 2016 or higher, you're going to get a larger grille. We actually picked this one specifically because when the 2016 came out, we didn't like the grille. My wife and I discussed it, and we thought it was a little too aggressive. I guess, it kind of grows on you, and you either like it or don't. We actually preferred this look, so this is why we got that year. Of course, I'm a huge fan of the color blue, and this is why we picked this particular color. One of the things that we did do, because we noticed there's a lot of stone chips and so forth, so we've added a plastic film here to the front, so it's from here to here. I don't know if you can tell there's a line there, but this will protect it from further damage due to wood chips and hopefully keep the paint and the rust out, as the paint is a little fragile on this car, as you'll see when we see the back end. Well, here we are at the back. The back is gotten a lot of little scratches on the side and so forth. They're not too visible, it's not too bad, but I mean, I could see them. It's a little annoying. The rest of it stayed pretty nice. I think it's worthwhile if your car doesn't come with one of these plastic little mats here to add one. So I'm not sure if that actually came with it or not. Now, the automatic tailgate, you can turn it off, of course. To turn it on, to open it, press the button there. And hold it for a fraction of a second, and up it goes. It's relatively slow. I know some people are complaining that it's too slow. And one of the things you'll notice from my particular car is it actually says Subaru on there. And the reason is this is actually from a Subaru Outback. So this is literally the same size as the back of a Subaru Outback, for those of you who are curious. I originally put that in there as a joke, and, well, it fit so well, I just left it there. So, who knows. So, there's lots of room. Of course, you can put the seats down. There's a little lever here in the back, so you can do the 60-40, and you simply just pull on it, and there it goes. So it's relatively simple. If your arms are full and whatnot, full of groceries, that's a great way to go. So let's take a look at the back. Now keep in mind, I'm 5'11", and the seat in the front right now is set exactly the way I drive, so this is typically where the seat would be. So if I go in, as you can tell, there's lots of room. There's a lot of room for very tall people. I'm going to try to make myself as tall as possible, and see, I've got a couple of inches easy on top. What's really nice about the back is obviously I've got a lot of leg room here. We do have these little pockets on both sides. They're a bit stiff because they're not really used. There's also, I mean, there are no USB ports like in some of the newer cars, but you do have ventilation in the back, so you can turn that off and on and redirect it. There's a cup holder. Of course, in the back, you can also, like in most cars, go ahead and do this and get a cup holder, and you also have some space here. So in case you want to have, I don't know, some, your iPhone or whatnot put in, you can hide it in here as you're traveling. So that's nice. The other thing is the seats are fully adjustable. And by fully, I mean, I might be exaggerating a little bit, but actually I've got quite a range here. Actually, you know what? I do have quite a range in the back. I'm surprised. So this is as far back as it goes. I mean, if you're going to rest, this is one way to do it. So this is great for long trips. And you can also slide it. Yeah, you can also slide it forward, obviously removing some leg room, and I could push it back, giving me even more room. Of course, the more you slide it back, the less room you have for cargo. But that's the compromise. So the leather seats are quite nice as well. Obviously, they're not heated or ventilated in the back. I think for most people, they'll be acceptable. They're quite comfortable. They're a bit on the firm side, which is actually good if you're going on a long trip. I think it's ideal. And yeah, they're really comfortable. This is like being at home watching TV. Let's go take a look at the front. And here we are. So the first thing you'll notice is the fact that it is a wood trimmed, and it's got a bit of leather. The steering wheel is heated. It only heats, as in some cars, I think the Prime, RAV4 Prime had the same, I won't say issue, but had the same feature where it only heats a certain portion, so it's not all the way around. I know some cars have all the way around, this one does not. The other thing is it has all the normal features you'd expect from a high-end car. It's got the intermittent wipers, it has rain sensing, for example. It also has engine stop and start with a button, which is nice, so you just have to have your key on you. You simply press the button and off it goes. I'll make you hear that in a moment. Everything else is electronic and electric. So what you've got are everything is programmable from a seat that's all electric. You can program up to 3 drivers here on the door, so that's a really nice feature. They've made a good use of wood throughout. It's not overly, I guess, woodified. It's not a word, but so you've got some wood here on the sides where some of the controls are. You've got a bit here on the steering wheel. And if you're wondering, by the way, because it looks very shiny, but there's actually a good grip to it. When I first looked at this SUV, I was a little concerned, and just from a visual point of view, I was worried that maybe this would be slippery. It is not. I'm not sure why it isn't, but it's almost like a rubber grip, even though it clearly is wood. They've got some kind of coating on there, and even though it looks very shiny, it's easy to grab and hold on to, so it's not a problem. And they have little grooves on the underside. Almost feels like a golf ball. So that also helps with not only texture, but to get a good grasp on the steering wheel at all times. So apart from that, you've got cruise control and so forth. This is not, since it's a 2015, the cruise control is either on or off. It will not adjust for cars in the front like my other vehicle. The rest, it does. This car has a built-in GPS. The challenge in getting an older car is the entertainment system for this year. I mean, Toyota and Lexus were kind of a little behind as far as I'm concerned. So it's convoluted. So everyone out there who's read about the mouse or the joystick or the trackpad on these things, well, this one has a little joystick. So it's literally a mouse that you move around, and it does get annoying. Now, it's not so annoying that I don't like the car. I love this SUV. That is one of the annoying features on this SUV. So if you want to navigate and so forth, you've got to move, press menu, go to here, go to there. And so for the rest, the ventilation, you've got buttons, you can put the fans up, put the fans down. The steering is, everything is very simple. Power, scrolling. When you want to play media, so the media basically what you've got is inside of the glove compartment is a USB port, and that's where you would put a USB key in there. So even if you plug in your phone, you will not get CarPlay or Android, so you can't really connect to it like you would in a more recent car. But having said that, it still functions adequately. I mean, you can play your MP3s. It does have satellite radio, so if you purchase one of these, there's a chance that, depending on where you are and so forth, that you might be able to get a serious basic satellite radio subscription for free for a certain amount of time. Check it out. I mean, I know we had it. We paid for it for, I think, the first year we got the SUV. We were driving around a lot, doing very long distances at the time. Now, because of the state of the world, I haven't been traveling so much, so we dropped that. But the rest is pretty good. There's a CD player in here because it's an older car, but we're not going to be using that anytime soon. We're not bringing CDs with us anytime soon. There is an interesting part with the containers, or the ability to hold things. So if you've got cans and things like that, I mean, of course, you can put them in the center here, and when you're not using it, you can hide it. It's really nice is there's one on my side. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but if I press it, it looks almost like it should have been an ashtray at one point, but I can put a whole can right there on my left, which is really nice in case I've got a lot of stuff and I just want to have coffee or whatnot, put it in here, and it leaves me a lot of extra place for other things in the center. There's a huge glove box, and apart from that, the other feature that I really like in this car, it's really the HomeLink mirror. And that, by the way, if you were buying a Toyota or a Lexus and it doesn't come with one, you can add it. If you watch my my RAV4 Prime video, I actually had it added to an SE edition, so to a base edition, and because that was the only feature I really liked. It came from this car, basically. I liked the mirror, and it's auto dimming. So at that point, you get to dim, and you don't have to keep playing with it at night and so forth. It's once you've lived with one of these, you don't want to go back. Now, apart from this, there is the sunroof. It's tinted, so you can, pull this up and just enjoy the extra light. That works. Of course, it opens. Unlike a lot of the other cars that I've had BMWs and Mercedes and whatnot, and even the Subaru, it always rusted around it. This car has not rusted around or not leaked and not done anything. So far, this one's been very functional and durable and reliable. So the other things obviously that I've skipped over is the fact that you've got leather seats in this car. The front seats are not only heated, but they're also ventilated, which means that you can put basically the air conditioning to them, and it's pretty cool. So if it's on a hot day, if you're in the desert somewhere, or if it's in the middle of the summer, it's great. And of course in the winter, if you're up here in the north, you can put it on heating, and there's various degrees. They really do work well. Apart from that, the leather is really nice and soft. As you can, I don't know if you saw from the seat on the driver's side, it is starting to wear. You can see, I won't say cracks, but you're seeing some definite signs of wearing, and I do put a lot of stuff on there, try to treat them, and, it's just from setting in and out of the car, and that's what happens. Okay, let's go ahead and start the car just so you can hear it. There we go. So just started it. Now the steering wheel actually, there we go. I can reset everything to the way it was. And when I'm done and I arrive somewhere and I turn it off, what you'll notice is the seat will go back and the steering wheel will go forward. So this is to enable me to leave more easily. It gives me more room. So that's a nice feature. And of course, when you go back in the car and you start it again, it brings my seat back to what it was last at and puts the steering wheel back. Now, like I said, it is, they do provide memory for the seats up to 3 drivers. So if you're looking for a used SUV, then the Lexus RX350 2015 might be for you. This was the last year for this particular model before the redesign, so therefore it is reliable. It is a pleasure to drive. It's a lot of fun. We enjoy it. So I'm Bob Pellerin, CTOBOB. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Leave us some comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions on this or other vehicles, let me know. I'd love to answer them. And of course, you can always visit us at www.ctobob.com. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.